I was definitely scared for my life then. When you take off, you're like, ooh. He wasn't like, I was like, we're not landing on that rock, there's no way. No, we are. Okay. Like, how do you land on this?
Troy, Brosnan, how was your first helicopter experience, man?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was a little bit nervous at first, just never been in a helicopter and just seen heaps of plane crashes on the internet, so it didn't help me at all. But no, it was really fun to go out to the top of a mountain by helicopter and just ride down for over an hour. It was crazy and just fun with everyone, and it was a pretty good group, so definitely would do it again.
Oh yeah. And how's the transition been to Canyon for you?
Yeah, really good. It's actually been pretty easy. You know, it's a completely different bike, but such a great team behind myself and what we've got going on, and yeah, just everything's working really well now. And you know, to get a win already this year at World Cup is pretty crazy. So I think big things are to come, and I'm really happy with the change.
I'm Moritz Ströer, product development engineer with Canyon for about 3 years now.
Okay guys, we just wrapped up an awesome heli biking adventure on Rainbow here in Whistler, BC. We're with the boys from Canyon who are making the move to the United States pretty soon. In fact, the website just went live, right?
Actually, you're right. So yesterday we had the very first day when we've been selling bikes finally to the US. It's been a long time coming, but yeah, finally here we are. And so it's the perfect timing for us to go to the crankworks, show the bikes to all the people who are exciting here.
Yeah. So what did it take to pull it off? I know there's been rumors about you guys doing it for years, and now we're here finally. But there must have been a lot of logistics and sorting to do. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's been a long time coming. It's been a project we've been working on for more than 3 years right now. So it's not that we are selling just a bike straight from Germany to the US, but you have to carry off a totally different logistics. We have another supply chain. We have warehouse in the US. We have a completely staff over there. So actually, for German or for European brand, there's lots of legal regulations in order to come over to the US. It's mainly because of product reliability. There's some really strict regulations that you don't have to deal with in this way in Europe. So we really focused on doing our bikes the best we can in Europe, and we have lots of experience with selling for more than 20 years bikes under the name of Canyon in Europe. So for us, we think it's now the perfect timing to go over to the States.
Yeah. So you guys have a massive operation. We've seen inside of the German, I guess it's a factory almost. Yeah, you guys are putting all the bikes together on quite the assembly line. Is there something similar in the US?
Assembly line, for sure. There's different assembly lines, but the one we have is for sure now the newest one, and also the most effective one. So we got a crazy output of bikes per day. But what we do is for the US we work in a little different way. We have our final touch assembly in California. Okay. So that's a little bit different than the bikes we are selling in Europe. That's also one of the reasons why it took that much time to come over to the US.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
And will you guys offer the same line in the US, or is it slightly different?
We will offer mostly the same line. Right now, since we got online yesterday on Monday, we don't have all of the models available. That's just because it's hard to go online with all the models, new supply chain. So right now it takes a little time in order to bring all the models online, but for sure we will have all models, maybe in a little bit different specs sometimes. I have to correct myself. Unfortunately, we cannot sell the dirt jump and the slopestyle bike because of a trademark name issue. But we've been working on this for sure.
Yeah.
So for the first year, unfortunately, we are not allowed to sell these bikes. But besides this, we got the Strive, the enduro bike, the 160mm 6-inch travel bike with a shapeshifter technology, which allows you to have either the downhill bike and also kind of a trail bike, which you can switch on the fly. We are also starting to sell the Sender very soon, the downhill bike, the one which is Brosnan on for sure, and Mark Wallace from the downhill team. So that's the next very exciting moment for us to twice going for the overall now in the last race in Val di Sole.
Yeah.
And then we got the World Champs in Australia, so yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And we're working on something special.
So you're always working on interesting projects, one of which was how you disconnected the drivetrain from the suspension. How was that?
There was a project Disconnect that's been an idea which has been in our minds for a couple of years already. But then we thought, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Let's build a prototype and let's do some test riding with it. What it actually does is it disconnects the drivetrain from the rear wheel, and by doing so, you don't have any influence from the pedals or from the transmission to your suspension. So you can compare it to a chainless ride, for example. You just go up a hill, do the trail one time, then disassemble your chain, do it again. That's the difference you will feel afterwards.
Yeah, and just kind of get an ideal suspension performance. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how it is.
So being a direct-to-consumer brand, there's probably a bit of apprehension from some riders or people that believe that there's maybe the shop model is the way to go. Obviously, things are evolving as time goes on. Do you guys have anything to say regarding that?
Yeah, for sure. It's been changing. Like lots of industries are changing right now. You see with all the online retail. For sure, it does have an impact on the local bike shop and stuff like this. But what we cannot do is can't do the service on like in every city or something like this. So if you are a good bike dealer and you have a good service center, that's where you still have lots of business. And you see there's also some new service concepts being started right now, and I think also this whole service thing will change in the future.
So when somebody buys a Canyon bike, what can they expect? What shows up at the door?
Yeah. So we got a custom-made box. It's called the Canyon Bike Guard, and actually the bike is not like only assembled and then put in a box, but it's first we put it in the box, we assemble the whole bike, then go for a test ride, and after that, for sure to fit the bike in the box, you have to disassemble the front wheel. The handlebar is being disassembled, but besides this, the bike is ready to go.
That's it. Hop on in
brake
5
is
minutes, probably.
adjusted, exactly.
Yeah.
The transmission is adjusted, so just put on the front wheel, handlebar, and go for a ride.
I'm Daniel, I'm the product manager of Canyon and brand manager as well.
So you guys have multiple World Cup racers riding for you. You've worked with many EWS racers as well. What type of feedback do you take from those pros that ends up working its way into the consumer level bikes?
It depends a little bit on the type of rider you have. Mm-hmm. Not every pro rider can give you good feedback, but we are trying to find riders that can give you feedback. One of the first riders we worked with was Fabien, and he's thinking a lot of products, and so he's deeply involved in all the developing processes. So also in the Strive, I mean, we met him after we had the idea with the shapeshifter. But for example, the geometry of the Strive, Fabien was involved in this. We discussed a lot with him about how to find the right geometry, and he gave his input, and we thought about it, and we tested it by ourselves. And that's also the normal route. We often go to Fabien, and then we test with him and retest. So we are more kind of average rider. He's a pro rider, and then we try to find a thing that works for everybody. Troy and Marx, the age riders are new now, but for sure they had their first season on the Sander, and we have a lot of exchange about the bike and what's good, and maybe they would like to improve. We have in mind for a next generation of this bike.
So how long has Canyon been around for? When did you guys get started?
First it was it was a bike shop in a small town in Koblenz, and in 96 they founded the brand Canyon. But in the beginning it were bikes, frames from Taiwan. They labeled it and sold it, and then after a while they developed their own products. which really starts in around 2004, 2005.
Okay.
And then they had they developed their own products, not just buying from Taiwan, doing their own stuff. And then I guess in 2007 they changed the whole brand image and brand styling, the whole corporate design. From there on it goes step by step.
So coming to the US is obviously a big deal for Canyon, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of things you have to think about. For example, normally we assemble all the bikes in Germany and ship them to the customers directly, but that's not possible for the US. So we had to figure out a way, okay, where should we assemble the bikes, where can we ship them directly to the customer, to have the right service, and also to find the right team. Yeah.
So if someone were to have an issue, what does that process look like? I mean, does Canyon have a center in the US that they can handle this?
Yes, so we'll have the service center in Carlsbad. We'll have also the call center, and if you have technical questions or problems, you can call them, and then you can either ship the bike to them, or you go to your local dealer, and then we are working on other system I can tell you about later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Excellent. Well, there you go, guys. That's Canyon coming to the United States. Bikes are available soon, and the website's live now. Cheers. Thank you very much.